TJ Hunt's motor. So here's TJ Hunt's new set. This, obviously, he runs the red cover. This is off his like second motor he just got from JDM of California. We've switched all the pieces over because he had injured this motor with a bad rod bearing. He had some rod knock. Here's the bearing. We didn't find anything wrong with the head. We found that this bearing was sometimes sliding like this behind. Hold on. There we go. So it was like becoming, you know, one-sided, and then it would knock. We think it might have been making the secondary knocking noise that we were hearing. It can't be, that can't be like proven 100%, but we were hearing like a second noise where it's like tick 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 tick, which when a motor's like spinning at a certain revolution, you should hear the same like consistent at that RPM. So it wasn't. You guys remember on that video, and I was like, what the heck is that? So that's why I said there's two noises, a secondary issue, but there's like zero issues with his head and his valve train, his cams, nothing bent. I'm pretty sure it was just piston 3, that rod bearing was like, sometimes it was like just, it was loose and it was staying like two halves, and then other times it was sliding underneath the other, probably the bottom half, and then just making like a second noise and turning back to one noise. I don't know, something like that. If you guys know something I don't know, let me know, and I'd be open to listening to that, so that me and Joe are trying to figure out what that other noise was. Okay, so anyways, here's TJ's motor fully broken down to just the short block. That's his head. We're gonna get some BC parts in here, some Run BC, Brian Crower stuff, and upgrade a lot of stuff, some CP pistons, and get this thing to be not a stroker, but a high compression race motor. Meantime, he's running a stock JZ, get him back on the track. We did a little bit of modifications to the oil system so that out of the stock pump he can run his oil out here. We'll do filter relocation and then back into the block. Same thing we did over here on Edgar's motor. Edgar's another customer. This is a stock motor, but we kind of went through it, updated the oil pump, checked everything, looked for issues, put a RAD 160 alternator on it, fresh water pump, fresh timing tensioner. He got some new pulleys. He's also doing the oil out here, the oil return in there. If you guys want me to do like a step-by-step how to do this, I can do that, a video just on the oiling system, and this would be like a way to do your race setup, like a poor man's, let's call it that, like a way to do a poor man's dry sump system on a JZ, because it's going to give you way more pressure when it leaves here and doesn't have to make a 90-degree, go in there, go through your filter here. It's just like all fat lines. If you can do 10s or 12s, you're good. I could kind of talk more about that, but not right now. So TJ Hunt motor is ready to go. We're going to try and put it in here pretty soon. Then we'll have more updates on some other stuff he's updating on the car. And then meantime, this will be like a slow build process, and then later when he has more time, downtime, this one won't have any errors or mess up because we put the oil pump that way, and he's gonna probably use better oil, like a little heavier weight oil in the future, if I can convince him to use some Torco. This block will come out, let's say 6 months from now, and we'll build that one too, so we'll have two like identically built high compression 3-liter motors with better valve train. It's Friday. Let's check out TJ Hunt's car real quick. Waiting on a turbo. He spun the bearing in rod bearing 3 and sent metal going through everything in the motor. So as we replace stuff in this motor, the stuff that had to go from old motor to new motor, I told him, hey, you're not using that turbo anymore because that'll send metal back in through your new motor. He said okay. Garrett's gonna send him a new super core. His old super core is right here. It's retired now, even though it was working, but it has been retired. So we took this out of his car, and Joe made a really cool plate that allows a Willwood to mate up to this given area instead of using the OEM 5/8 bore, which is what this is out of a Z. We're now able to use any size we want of Willwood. we're gonna use a 3/4 inch bore because he got that new ACT triple and he's getting a new transmission. I think TJ will tell you what he's putting in here, but it's a different transmission. It's gonna be a little bit better for drifting, and it needs a better clutch and it needs a better clutch master, and then he's also going to use a different hydraulic release bearing from Tilton. We got that. We got some other parts that we're going to be working on next week with this car, but the update for now is, well, there's a leather welding jacket here because we were covering some stuff from dust as we worked over there, but motor's in, clutch is in. I'll lift the car up so we can look at the clutch. He also, if you look down in there, has an oil filter relocation set up to his Setrab oil cooler. New lines, told him to get rid of his old oil cooler, threw it out. Threw out the lines because that's how far we're taking it, because we're not just gonna blow up his new motor that he just put in here. Meanwhile, he's got some BC stuff that arrived. He got cam, valve train, a crank. He's gonna build the old motor that spun a bearing to be a full race motor, and then go have fun with this motor, get some more seat time, and then when he has time or wants to bring the car back, we'll swap it and do that for him. But let's check out that ACT triple disc clutch. This is that clutch that I always tell you guys about, that I put literally in every car or every different transmission. So they have a laser etcher over there at ACT, and they got custom Hunt&Co on his pressure plate and his flywheel. Lucky boy, TJ. This triple has a 26 spline, which is GM spline count. I think most American cars use GM, maybe Mopar uses 26 as well, and Ford. So either way, it's got that really nice ACT triple. It works with a GSR transmission, Andrews dog box, Samsonas, Hollinger, or T56 if you wanted. So it's a super legit clutch, easy to drive, soft pedal feel, not too hard, and it lasts forever and it holds the power. 1,400 foot-pounds. It's way more than enough, but it's easy to drive is a good thing. So that's our quick update on TJ's car. We're waiting on transmission, an adapter, turbo, and then we got to measure out for a drive shaft and get it done. So got a little bit more to go, and then we have some surprises for you as that car comes back together. That's that update. Then come over here, and you guys are wondering about this 5.0. It showed up, it's here. You might have seen it on the Instagram just briefly. So this customer's name is Emmett, and Emmett would like to supercharge this as well. So the good thing is this is a Gen 3 Coyote motor. So it's out of a 2018. 3 updates they've done, or 2 updates from the Gen 1. Let it be a little bit stronger, have better potential to handle boost is what I've read. So Gen 3 is good to go. Gen 2 said you can even run the like supercharger kits for it, and it's okay, but then we found a good deal on a Gen 3, so he got it. That only has less than 6,000 miles on it, and it's gonna go in this car over here, which I already told you and showed you guys. Joe's doing some of the strip down of it. We're gonna get a new front cross member. We're gonna try and make this car just literally as nice as like Rory's car or my Supra, but in Mustang form. So this will be exciting. He even has talked about doing, because like if you look in the wheel well, there's not a lot of space back here for like, you know, 315s or whatever. It's just like got a 245 on here, but there's no room to go that way. So we got to see if we can get some like fender flares that look good but don't make it look too crazy, but then make it so we can get some like big tires, or do like a mini tub in there, different rear axle. Can't use drum brakes, we got to update the rear brakes. We got to update front coilover setup so that it's actually a coilover instead of the spring and the strut separate, because we don't want to do that. What's the other thing we were gonna do?
Independent rear suspension.
Oh, that if we can make it have independent rear suspension out of the newer Mustang. It's the newer Cobra one, or the
0304 Cobra.
Yeah, like same thing guys do with the FDRX7, but into here. We got to figure out supercharger fitment, different hood, all kinds of stuff. So, and then we could redo the plumbing on probably the whole car. So there's a lot of potential to be done here, and we can show you guys